So good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear us. And I would like to welcome you all to this morning workshop of the PANTERA and SUPEERA projects that you are all aware of. And this is under the title of Boosting the Research and Innovation Activity on Smart Grid Technologies. Is something that we would like to share with you the work that we are doing through the projects. And this is, let me see, moving forward. I think you need to put it up. Okay, let me try this. Not try. Okay, try now. Just a second. Just 1 minute to sort out the technologies. Okay, try now. Okay, now we can see it. It's moving. Yes, we are the PANTERA project, and we have been since 1st of January 2019 in operation. We are 9 partners, and we are a coordination and support action trying to support research and innovation in Europe for the low activity countries to boost themselves and link themselves with the rest of Europe for this energy transition that we all aim, and Europe is putting a lot of effort and a lot of emphasis to it. We have also with us the project SUPEERA. Ivan, please, some words from you.
Yeah, thank you. So just quickly, I have my presentation this afternoon. If you can just go to another slide. This is also the coordination and support action. The SUPEERA stands for the support and coordination of national research and innovation programs in areas of activity of European Infrastructure Alliance that I here represent. It's a 42-month project. It started last year, but with many also difficulties to call it. It will be extended up to June 2023. All the value of 1.7 million euros. We are the only extra beneficiaries, ERIGrigrid as such, and we have 5 linked parties which have been invested across Europe, from France, Denmark, Norway, Germany, and Finland. But again, we will have opportunity to dig deeper.
Okay, thank you very much, Ivan, for this and this collaboration, because we consider we are working on similar aspects, supporting this research and innovation and the transition towards the way forward in achieving the targets and objectives of 2030 and leading to 2050 for zero emissions in the whole economy. So we, as PANTERA project, we have put a process in place. And we have put this process in order to make sure that we follow the results of projects in Europe, that we follow closely the 10-year plan and the implementation plan of the ETIPSnet that is putting forward for the research work forward. And we are also linking ourselves with the work of many other platforms and initiatives in Europe in order to try and generate through the project knowledge that we want to enrich this knowledge, and we would like to pass on the deliverables that we offer to the research and innovation community in Europe through a well-established multifunctional platform that we call ERIE. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more about the ERIE platform today, and we have a walk through the platform today from 2 colleagues, Tassos and Mohammed, later on, and you will have the chance to say your opinion through the process that we have put together. And certainly the PANTERA platform that we are putting forward is linked with the activities with the rest of Europe, and we would like to see the platform, the ERIE platform, to be the focal point for research and innovation in Europe related to smart grids, storage, and local energy communities. And this research and innovation work that is presented through the platform is meant to be linked through other existing platforms and bring through the single point of reference, through this single point of access to the rest of Europe, offering the solutions that have been developed through the years. Through that, and we have achieved to connect onto the JRC environment, and where JRC is having their smart energy area of activities and tools and solutions, and ERIE platform will be hosted in the Europa area within JRC smart area, and that's why it's going to be connected to the rest of Europe through this constant connectivity. We have put together a platform that you will hear later on more details, but we have tried to give a vision to it that brings together solutions, systems, data, information, and offered through this architecture that bring infrastructures together, brings data together, and brings tools that facilitate accessibility and way of working for research and innovation community in Europe. And this vision is brought together through a well-defined data model definition that is presented to you here, that is quite addressing all the issues related to it, and it brings it in relation to organizations and in relation to data character and content. And so this is brought together in a coordinated way that makes it easy for you to access it, use it, and make and get the results and utilize them in your own research and innovation work. And this facility that we are generating through the ERIE platform has the capability of connecting safely with other platforms within Europe and trying to share information, try through this accessibility that is offered through advanced systems that the Commission is utilizing within Europa, and trying to link in application ways that it makes it automatic, the way we transfer information, data, and knowledge onto the ERIE platform, make it available for the rest of Europe. So this process, we have automated it because we want it to be sustainable and want it to be accessible in the future and enriched as we move along, and as the other platforms enrich themselves, we will be constantly updating ERIE for you to be constantly updated as to what is happening in the rest of Europe. So this way forward, we have generated within ERIE login and roles capabilities that will facilitate everybody to be connected depending on the role they are having. So we have roles, different roles to manage the content, and these users from other platforms we integrate with. We have roles for project partners, how they can manage and enrich the platform. We have roles for external users like everyone else that can connect and use the system. And we have, of course, the important roles of managing content, because we would like the content to be constantly updated, but reliable and dependable content that you can use. So the platform also has the administrator for taking everything into consideration, and of course we can offer accessibility to everybody to use, and this we have put the process in place for it. So we have enriched it in order to be able to give you the possibility of having as a user a corner, as the countries that are coming from the low activity countries to have their own area of developing cooperation, collaboration work. And that's why we have for every country a possibility of connecting to it and developing its own activity through it, and also a collaboration area where they can collaborate on projects and other activities. And of course, in this process, we are generating an area where the National Stakeholders Coordination Group of ITIPSNet can build its own activities in order to generate a pan-European way of working and promoting the work that we are doing. And within this process, this regional corner has the capability of picking up the countries you are interested in, and through that you can build your collaborations, your working environment, that you can build the content and information that you have available through your own work and through your own effort. And so this information, for all these selected countries of low activity, we have also an important area where it comes from the more developed countries, the more active countries, and there we can pick up best practices and how we can build the way forward utilizing tried solutions, important support that's coming from these countries. And so, picking up just one country, we can give some information about it, and this is up to you. This can grow. To what degree this information that is responsive to what is happening in these countries is something that we will grow together, and that we will improve as we move along. So from our side, this introductory into this today's workshop, this is what I wanted to say to you, and we will have the chance during the day to hear a lot more about the ERIE platform, but also give you the opportunity to give your opinion about it. So, Mohammed, do you think you can say a few words about the way our guests can interact and give their opinion on today's work, on today's questions? Yeah?
Yeah, sure. I'll just share my screen.
Yes, please, too.
Okay, I hope you could all see my screen. So, hello everyone, good morning, and Mohammed Shafi from Ghana. And we'd like to make this workshop as quite interactive as possible. And we will be happy to receive your questions, and we'll try our best to answer them. Even if we didn't manage to answer all the questions, we will try to take them offline and reply them offline, and we'll be sharing the information through emails and also through summaries that we're going to share on the website. So we are going to use today's slide. So we'll be using it for collecting your questions, and we'll try to answer. Also, we'll be happy to share with you some polls to get your feedback about the platform and also about other activities within the PANTERA project. So to join the session, you could either scan this QR code that you will find on the screen, or you could go to slide.com, and the session for today is Splitech, the same as the conference name, or I also shared with you the link in the chat. And once you go to this page, you will find where you could ask the questions, and also once we share the polls with the audience, it should be appearing for you, and we will be happy to get your feedback on it. So let's try to test it now together. And let me start with the first question. So we would be happy to know from which country our audience today is connecting. So please write the name of your country. Please don't use any please use English so that you can get to know from where you are.
Just give a couple of minutes more, Mohammed.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Can you just let so Mohammed that I'm actually in the room because he sent me an email to connect. Just let me know that I'm in the room.
Yeah.
So you can tell him he will hear you because
he can hear you.
The
microphone. I'm Tomislav here. I'm in the room at the location, so I'm not going to connect online.
Okay.
Present on site.
Just give a couple of minutes so that everybody gets acquainted with Slido and make sure that they give their answers.
Okay.
Are you happy? You have given your answers?
No. Yes. Yes. Some countries are popping up. And we see Germany, Hungary, Cyprus is quite big. But of course we know that the coordinator is from Cyprus, so we was expecting.
We are growing.
That's very good. You know Cyprus is the center of the earth, huh?
At least in the center of Mediterranean. Yes. Yeah, some people in the room is the listening.
So, as I could see, this is not
So
we're not receiving any person where you can pose this next question.
okay, just a second. Just a second. Are you happy with it? It's going to do it now.
Croatia,
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
You've done it?
Yeah, now Croatia is bigger.
Okay. All right. So Croatia is growing. Very good. Because that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mohammed. Move on.
Okay, so going to the next question, and we would like to be happy to know from which sector are you working? So as far as we can see, that most of the participants are coming from university and research center, which is quite interesting. And also we have a couple of participants coming from telecom companies and ICT, and also we have here also distribution system operator, which is quite interesting, and also energy utilities, and we have also consultants. And does he have any further comments or?
No, I think we are fine. Thank you very much. I think we have learned how to use Slido. Now, I think Mattia from our group is going to talk to us a bit about the issues related to Croatia, energy and research and innovation landscape. So the floor is yours, Mattia. as soon as we have the presentation on.
Yes, thank you very much, Venizelos. Let's wait a second that the presentation shows up. In any case, I just will start presenting myself. I'm Matteo Caviati from RSC, Research Center based in Milan, and within the Pantera project, I'm dealing with especially international collaboration and yes, how to foster the international collaboration within the Pantera target countries. Yes, the presentation is there. Let's see if it's working. Changing slide. Yes,
just a second.
Just put on full screen and
just a second.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So I want to start after the presentation, the background of Venizelos. Considering that we are in Croatia, I would like to make some background for the discussion, proposing some figures and facts that I found in documents like the National Energy Climate Plan and so on. So this, in order to as a background for the discussion, we can have a look at the figures that are present on the slides and that are actually the targets for the Croatian and for the whole European Union about the carbon emission reductions. So this I would like to start with this because we are as Pantera project trying to foster the research and innovation in an area of clean energy and renewable energy systems and so on. So these are actually the main figures that need to change in order to achieve the overall climate goal by research and innovation actions. So what Europe is aiming to, now the European Commission has put forward the Fit for 55 new legislative packages that actually increases the carbon emission targets. And now the overall carbon emission target reduction for the ETS sector is up to 61% compared to the level of emission in 2005. This is really an ambitious target, but it is achievable. In fact, the former one that was set by RED 2 and the other legislative parties was seen to be actually conservative. Okay. So we are talking about emissions. Usually they are divided into two categories. The one tackled by the emission credit system, that covered by these systems, that are basically the emissions from industry and electricity generation, and also the commercial aviation within EU. And the other ones that they are say non-ETS emissions that are covered by other legislation. So here I put a couple of data for both of them because according to me it's important to have a clear this distinction because it is important in accounting for emissions and also in research and innovation actions. So we can see that the data for Croatia taken from the National Energy Climate Plan are in line. This plan has been published a couple of years ago, but is the one online also on the website of the Commission. And as you can see, the reduction from the ETS sector is in line with the overall European target, of course, before the Fit for 55 package, because this is quite new. So I put in the second column of the above table is because we need to have a reference with something comparable. I think that the plan will be updated, but in any case, this is the one value. You can see in the second line that actually the non-ETS sector seems quite different. The target, the overall EU is 30%, Croatia is 7%, but actually is in line because the non-ETS sector actually is managed by the effort sharing regulation that splits the 30% not equally overall country, but basing on the GDP, on the population, and other indicators. And actually, Croatia is targeting 70% in this reduction. We have also targets for the gross final renewable energy consumption and rest in transport, and it's quite high targets in 2030 at the ERIE line. So this to say that we have ambitious targets, but fostering the research and innovation, we can reach it, and this is acknowledged by the fact that the Commission has enhanced the goals by the 5th-45 resolution. So let's move on. This slide is just a recap, visual visualization of what I was talking about before and where we are. Of course, considering Croatia, greenhouse gas emission compared to 2005 levels and gross final renewable energy consumption. As you can see, the 2020 target has been accomplished with a great margin, and Croatia is going to meet also the target in the next years. Yes, please don't hesitate to raise questions or comments during the presentation. I'm open to any clarification or comments you would like to address. Now I put this slide about what are the measures inside the National Energy and Climate Plan, and we can see that Croatia is putting effort in feeding tariffs and also the using of different funds available in Europe. Of course, everything is improvable, but at least the plan is there, and the Research and Innovation Act need to refer to this. I will not stay much on the slides, because I would like to, again, as a background, talk about the actual electricity generation in Croatia. We can see that hydro is well developed, and of course, as in many other countries of Europe, like also in Italy, that cannot improve much because the possible sites for hydropower plant are already exploited. But we can see that wind is increasing. We can see from the first picture the orange bars that are being improving, that are making it longer. And we can see from the right picture that actually the renewable energy sources are a good amount of the overall energy production. Yes, that as a reference is 18 terawatt hours per year. The installed capacity taken this picture from ERIE, of course, is say something related to the first picture, but the first one, the histogram is energy, this is power. Installed capacity is for the 60% hydropower. Then we have wind energy that accounts for the 55% of the installed power. That is it, and this is the actual growing energy source. Yes, please, if you want to add something, just you know.
I mean, I can give a context, but
yeah, please.
So basically, you're right about the hydro. I mean, this is a heritage from, let's say, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 80s. I think there's one single hydropower plant being built in 2010 or something like this, which is a smaller one. But the activities are picking up in that area as well. So the national utility company is working on retrofitting older hydropower plants, increasing capacity. So these numbers in 2021, 2, 3, and 4 will increase somewhat. The wind was stalling for a while, and if I was to bet how the 2021 is going to look like, it's going to be a significant increase. So from 400 megawatts, we will go to over a gigawatt in 2021. The biggest issue and the challenge here, I think, is in solar. So as you might guess, Croatia is very highly potential for solar production, and we have a very poor share of energy capacity in solar. From what I can see, the activities there are also picking up, but not as fast as they should be. So not many of domestic rooftop solars are being installed, and this is probably the biggest challenge for the upcoming years to 2030 to actually make it happen on a larger scale. So,
yeah, thank you very much for the comment. Yes, indeed, hydropower plants are also in Italy. I come from Italy, so I maybe know a bit more about that. Are retrofitting ones, so some efficiency improvement can. It is the the energy productions. But then it is worth to be mentioned that hydropower plants will be very important also in the future because they can provide flexibility that the system actually needs. So investment and research and innovation in that area is equally important to foster the growth of other renewable energy sources like wind and solar. Yep. And solar, we are in Italy is taking up rooftop and so on. So also some exchange in this direction, as policy or some say way to boost that can be done because we are in the same parallel of Europe. So the situation is quite similar. We are only the artists in the middle. So yes, thank you very much. Let's proceed. Okay, maybe I'll go fast in the slides because otherwise we will be late. This is just a context slide, gross R&D expenditure. Croatia is a bit lower the overall, the average EU. It's not the lowest one, but the situation can, of course, improve as for many other countries in Europe, also Italy, because we have not much of over. This is a slide about actually the European project. I've taken the data from the European portal. What to say here? Main stuff is that, as you can see from the picture, most of the European projects are concentrated in okay, a lot of projects there, and so there is not an homogeneous, say, spread of projects all over the country. This is something that can be improved. I know that in the afternoon there will be a person from the regional agency. Actually, it's from Zagreb, so
they're covering like a larger area, I think.
Yeah, I figured that all the area of the north of something.
Yes, and they collaborate with other energy agencies and encouraging them to also apply for these projects so that they can actually give you a various feedback on the entire operation.
Good. So maybe we will discuss with him how to fostering both the uptaking of projects in the overall Croatia and of course also Zagreb, but also in the other countries. The data below are to say that Croatia is a bit lower in expenditure in H 2020 that are the last data at disposal. The table is about the secure, clean and efficient energy team and the data for the overall horizon, so the table and data are not compliant, but in any case it's an indication. Okay, we have as PANTERA project done an analysis of some project that involves Croatia partner as a coordinator or as a project partner. We mapped them with respect to the technology classification made by ETICSnet in collaboration with PANTERA. You can see the broad classification, then we have also a second level classification, but about this we will talk Shafi, a colleague of mine that is working on PANTERA in the afternoon, so it's just a hint, let's say. And yes, but now let's come at the core of my presentation. I put the slide, the result from the survey, taking into account only the replies from Croatia. We have launched the survey from the PANTERA project. It's still available, so if you have the slide and if you would like to reply, please, it takes less than 5 minutes to reply. Please go there and there is the link. Also, it's open to all European countries. And what we have discovered from this, at least according to the participants, is that the main barriers that is hindering the research and innovation in Croatia, or at least that is not happening, is somehow the lack of responding network of test facilities, and of course limited both monetary and human resources, and a little less important, the national policy in support of other networks. So we will talk about the benefit from PANTERA later, so I can give the next slide. I'll comment in this one. We want to start from this reply in order to understand how the PANTERA project could actually help to overcome these barriers and fostering research and innovation projects in target countries like Croatia. Target countries are depicted in the picture as important, so it's Italy, Ireland, and the Eastern countries. let's start dealing with a lack of responding network of facility. We can support this because we know that be it a test facility and it is not easy. It needs skilled people, it needs resources, and it needs time. And then you actually have to know which facility to know, to build, and to understand how to test the proposed solution. It is not easy. Collaboration can indeed support this because you get knowledge, you see what has been already tested, what is not, which solutions are the best, and which one. DERLAB can help in this. DERLAB is an association of European and US research laboratories, and is also a partner of PANTERA. Mohammed, that is talking before about the slide, and put the first question, is for DERLAB. We can support this. DERLAB members are spread all over Europe and are dealing with tests of renewable sources and also testing of smart grid solutions to foster smart grid development. And we are also working on standardization activities. But please, if you want to know more about DERLAB, just let me know and we can share all the needed information. Just a hint about what is DERLAB is in this slide. We have a database of many research and innovation test facilities in Europe, and they are classified. They are divided into what they can propose and what they can do. So, if you want to know something about how is built a laboratory, which instrument, which solution are there, we can refer to that. Another important activity regarding test facilities is within an international collaboration project that is ISCA. I'll go directly to the annex file of ISCA that is surfed, and it stands for Smart Grid International Research Facility Network, and it's actually an international network of research facilities. I was working in a task of SIRFAN a couple of years ago, and actually we get help from a research center based in the US. I was implementing inverter automatic test procedures using an open source software developed by US colleagues in collaboration with others. And since they were founded and the software was open source, they was helping us in setting up the scene, setting up the laboratory. And so we actually gained something from the collaboration, and we can share now some experience with others. Last but not least, we have an important nuclear project that we are collaborating with. It's ERIGrigrid 2.0. It's based on the result of ERIGrigrid 2.1, and it is providing access to laboratories. So if you need support in going to test some solution or to get some knowledge from other laboratories, there is an instrument, is ERIGrigrid, and we have started the collaboration because we have similar objectives in fostering the research and innovation activities. Yes, now let's come back to this slide and talk about what the respondents to the survey actually are, let's say, would like to gain from the PANTERA project. And this is the bottom part of the slide. So the first point is networking for gaining European project, and this we believe that is really, really important. We were talking about this yesterday evening with colleagues here in the room, and we actually find out that it's important to have opportunities to collaboration, to know people, and to explore different collaboration opportunities, not only Horizon project, there is also other calls. For example, there is the Interreg calls, there is the ERIE funding opportunities, and making all these together, we can find many collaboration opportunities. Sharing policies is another point, and this we believe that the ERIE platform can help. and also sharing outcomes from international activities and so on, in order to help the local policymakers. So I have tried to summarize in this slide what the PANTERA project can actually deliver. We are dedicated to organize workshops in different parts of Europe, of course, considering our target countries as the main goals. We are developing, as Venizelos has pointed out in his presentation, the ERIE platform that is actually aimed to foster the information sharing at different levels between stakeholders, but not only, is meant to actually foster the information retrieval from results of other European projects, and also fostering the possibility to make links between projects and organizations. Then we have our PANTERA regional approach. We also talked about it. We are targeting some regions, and the Baltic region is a clear region of target, and this is Croatia, Hungary, and the Balkanic area, Central East Europe, and so on. We are trying to analyze how the policy are fostering research innovation and so on, and how to increase the participation in these areas. Just a quick mention, and I finished. I left some floor for questions and so on. We are in good contact with different international collaboration. ISDA is one of these. Then there is the ERA, and especially the joint program of Smart Grid. Ivan is here, is both the coordinator of the SUPEERA project, but is also working for the ERA, that is the European Energy Resources Alliance. I'm also from the joint program of Smart Grid, that it collects many research centers all over Europe. For example, within this program, we try to collaborate and to find ways to set up consortium in reply to the European call. We made a brokerage event last year that was quite participating. Then we have good contacts with the DeepSnet that actually is providing the roadmaps and so on. When there is sharing the working group fiber of the DeepSnet, I'm presenting something there. And then there is the bridge program. So we are well connected. We can support local stakeholders in being connected with these initiatives, but to help them to find which information they need to see. And so on. Okay, this is a slide about the platform. I think that we will talk about this later in the workshop, so you can skip. Last slide about mission innovation is an important initiative. It's a governmental initiative. We are launching now, Italy is involved, we are launching now 3 missions, and one is on grids, on the power system. So also in this side, we will have some let's say policies and some roadmap to share. Yes, that's it. These are my contacts. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you need any more information. If you want to reply to the questionnaire, please. It is important for us to understand local stakeholder opinion. And if you have, if you would like some support, or you are willing to organize something, just contact us, and we are at disposal. So please, the floor is yours. If you have comments and so on.
Thank you very much, Mattia, for this, and Tomislav for contributing to this discussion. And I think issues related to this, we will have the time this afternoon to discuss in our roundtable discussion. And I think that now we are running just a bit late, but we can move on to the next item on the agenda. And I would like Tassos and Mohammed to connect and share their screens in order to walk us through some use cases of the ERIE platform and how we can be useful to us, to the whole research and innovation community. Before I give the floor, I would like to reiterate the importance of you contributing to the work that we are doing through answering the the questionnaires that are online on the link that Matthias has indicated, and we would like your voice to be heard and influence our plans and the work that we have ahead of us. So the floor is yours, Tassos, please go ahead.
And so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And now we can see you. We don't see the presentation.
Okay, because I lost sound when I tried to share my screen.
Okay. We can still hear you, but it's not full screen.
Okay, hopefully now.
It's the presentation slide area, not the presenter slide, not the full screen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay, good morning to everyone. I'm Tassos Tsanis. I come from Street 5, an SME that's located in Cyprus. We are participants and partners actually in the PANTERA project, and together with the rest of the team, we work together actually towards the design and development of the ERIE platform. We will have a quick go through today on some specific functionalities in order to introduce it to whoever has not yet joined, to understand a little bit the motivation and the different services that we provide, and possibly have a further discussion with regards to the future. Prior to taking you to the platform, actually, in order to have a live demonstration, at least given the time constraints that we have, I would just like to give you some generic picture, actually, of what ERIE is about and what we can offer to the different stakeholders, and especially our stakeholders and our colleagues coming from Croatia, in order to push more or less the involvement in RNI activities, and especially those that are built upon collaborations with other representatives and stakeholders. So, very briefly, our mission statement, actually, with regards to the ERIE platform, is that we want, and actually it was our target from the beginning, that we wanted to develop and offer to the RNI community, the research and innovation community, a reference platform that would act as a one-stop shop for allowing the different stakeholders to come together to share information between them, establish collaborations in order to boost and further promote their research and innovation interests, but also to get into a collaboration in order to further elaborate on specific concepts, on specific thematics in the area of the smart grid, and in this way generate knowledge that can be further disseminated and communicated through the platform to the whole research and innovation community around you. To realize this mission statement, this main objective that we had at the beginning of the project, we proceeded with the design of a fully fledged platform. I will not take you to technical details, but what really matters is that we provide different sets of functionalities to our platform, referring to the collection of information from different information sources with regards to projects, with regards to research data sets, with regards to other documentation and data collections that really make sense and do have a direct relation to the concept of the smart grid. analyze this information at a second level and try also to extract some more insight to this information by, first of all, we have started with some analysis that we performed, let's say, at the national level, focusing mainly on highlighting the performance, more or less, of different EU member states in R&I activities based on the information that we collect from the different information sources. And thirdly, at the third level, which is the most important level, at least for us, is to promote the collaboration between the different stakeholders to allow them to get engaged in discussions, in interactions, in working together over specific tools and over specific environments in order through living documents, through a series of things to promote knowledge creation at the regional and progressively at the EU level. An important aspect that I need to highlight, because I mentioned before the target to create a one-stop shop, is that our design and our architecture, actually, to take it to a more technical term, our architecture needed to be scalable, needed to be interoperable, actually we had to build everything on top of these principles and needed to be extendable. And in this way, we have managed to come up with a specific design that allows us to respect and actually to promote these key principles. And this has led us actually right now to be at the position, let's say, of having connected and having integrated with a series of platforms and series of information resources with regards to research and innovation activities around Europe. And of course, our plans are even more ambitious for the next period, for the extension and the population of the ERIE platform with more information in order to address, and this is the most important thing, to address and address the needs and promote the activities of the regional and the national stakeholders with regards to R&I, especially in the cases and in the countries that seem to be lagging behind. Actually, this is a part of our value propositions because we refer to national stakeholders, we refer to regional stakeholders, but in order to further substantiate it and to make it even more specific, our main target groups, let's say, and our main target users are mainly listed under three categories. That is the researchers themselves, the R&I organizations, and the policy makers in the different areas around the EU. And we provide, our target is to provide and to equip them with the tools in order to acquire significant benefit out of the use of the platform and out of the engagement in the activities of the platform. And especially for researchers, what is really important is that we need to allow them to get the information that they need, to access the information that we need through our one-stop shop approach that we are promoting. Get information about best practices, get information about the state of the art, not only by drilling into information coming from projects and other initiatives that are implemented around the EU, but also by accessing highly relevant training material and getting engaged in education programs that can further facilitate their progress. And on the other hand, the research and innovation organizations do comprise a target group for us, and we want to facilitate. I'm stepping on what Maria presented before as a key barrier and as a key need of the local stakeholders, and I'm referring to the networking activities, the establishment of collaboration, and this is something that we want to foster. We want to promote collaboration opportunities to encourage synergies with other organizations outside the territory, outside the country, and at the end of the day, improve the overall numbers and investments in research and innovation in smart grids, and by facilitating more active involvement of organizations, research and innovation organizations in relevant activities around the EU. And with regards to policy makers, we went through a series of simplified analytics, not something complicated or something, let's say, that require a lot of, that has a long learning curve to define, let's say, the inefficiencies that their country and their member state faces and how to address it, and pointing out to specific activities and specific strategic elements that they need to focus for the future, for the short term and mid-term future. Now, I will stop sharing my screen in order to reshare it and take you to a live demonstration of a couple of functionalities of ERIE, and I hope that you can still see my screen. What I want to highlight is that, as I said before, we provide a lot of services in order to facilitate the involvement of local stakeholders in RNI activities. These services span a rich repository, let's say, that is facilitated by a search engine in order to allow the different users of the platform to easily find and get more information about projects of their interest in the area of interest. And not only about projects, but also about material that is being used from these projects in order to get further insights on how different actors address a variety of research topics. On the other hand, we provide access to training material, we provide access to education programs, we provide access to information about research infrastructures, about the latest regulation and standards activities, and actually we are populating our database with a lot of documentation about this. And apart from this, we give also the opportunity to further promote networking activities through dedicated areas and through dedicated services for bringing into the forefront the relevant opportunities and allowing the matchmaking between stakeholders that want to be engaged and want to find the means actually and facilitate their engagement with such activities. Out of all these functionalities, and I'm not going even further because we do have collaboration environments for the creation of new knowledge based on specific tools. I will take you to one case actually that has to do with our search tool that facilitates search of a repository. And actually, as you can see in my screen, we do have several tabs and several areas within which someone can search. Someone can search for organizations that are visitors based on the type of organization that he wants to find, for specific data collections that refer to use cases, best practices, on specific thematics and research areas, for regulation and standards again on specific areas. I will take you actually to the projects just to give you an idea of how everything works, how easy it is to use the platform, and how valuable information is provided in a filtered manner out of the use of the platform. So let's go with an exemplary case that someone wants to get further engaged in research and innovation activities around smart grids, and possibly around specific sub-area that refers to digitalization, so he wants to understand what is happening around Europe. Actually, what is the status quo and the state of the art of the projects that are implemented around Europe. So we want to have this brief snapshot of this status quo, and actually by selecting the area that is of interest, he can have an overview of relevant European projects, mainly from funded under the Horizon 2020 program that are implemented and has as a core focus, let's say, they have a core focus on digitalization. Of course, the information is a lot, and we need to provide the means, and we need actually to provide the means to someone to be able to filter the information and get down to what really, what's really interesting and what he wants actually to find out of the platform. So we provide a variety of filtering tools and search optimization tools, if we can call it like this, that can take someone with specific research sub-area that can be linked with the digitalization path, sets based on specific members. Of course, this moves the more fine-grained sets for someone that has gone through actually the first step of applying the knowledge about the project, and actually we provide additional search filters that refer to if a project is involved in further initiatives like Split or whatever, and we provide also the means in order to dedicate ourselves on a specific platform, such as Godis, the Bridge Information System, JRC, or whatever. I will not introduce a lot of filters, just to give you an example and go through one project right now to understand how everything is presented and what information you can find about specific projects. Actually, I will apply an additional filter that has to do with the country that I come from, so Cyprus, in order to see what is happening in Cyprus, because someone may need to understand better what is the state of the art and the current status on a specific country. As you can see on the digitalization path, we have fine-grained our search, and we have come up with 2 projects. I will select one of them, and as you will see in the page that in the project actually that appears, we have some brief information about the project. We are, once the project generates some impact, we will introduce also the information that refers to the key impact item that this project achieved. Actually, since I know this project, I know that it has not yet gone through the validation process in order to generate some impact and report on specific results. We have information about the partners, and not only about the partners, but also we try to list them under specific roles in order for someone to be able to identify key players involved in this kind of activities, and in this way set some targeting with which organization it makes sense to collaborate, which organizations have some expertise on specific issues in order to further foster networking and collaboration between them. And once projects generate specific results, key exploitable results that they want to share with us, and they do have specific information, we list these results because these results actually will be linked to an innovation marketplace that is available in our platform in order not only to promote research as research, but also try to create, at least at the primitive stage, and to break the path for research projects to bring their products, their final results into the market. And actually through ERIE, they will have the opportunity to advertise advertise them to other interested stakeholders. Moreover, in this area, we will also list information about specific deliverance and specific reports that will be generated by the project. This is an ongoing process, actually, in collaboration with the project coordinators and the results owners, in order to start populating the platform with information that can be made public. But in any case, as I said before, the main focus is, at least for the next period, is to better promote this collaboration with external platforms, with external information sources, in order to provide an as complete as possible representation of the information that we want to offer through ERIE through our platform. So this was a brief overview, let's say, of a specific part of the services that they give based on the search tool that we have implemented. And now I think I can give the floor to Mohammed to take you through another journey in our platform with regards to education and training. So I will stop sharing. Mohammed, will you take over? Yes. I hope you can see my screen now. Yes. Okay, so thank you, Dust, for this interesting presentation. I will just take over from here and would like to give you a tour about one of the areas that we have in the ERIE platform about education and training. So, why it's important, and I will just start with a quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And from my point of view, if you want to fight global warming, we must start with educating our community, our researchers, and this is something that's continuing activity, because if we just think from 10 years ago, we were not discussing anything about related to EV, or if you go from 15 years ago, nobody was discussing about energy flexibility, and even from 20 years, there's PV and solar energy application, which is limited to space application or even off-grid solutions. So now, person need to somehow educate himself continuously. And when we started this activity within the ERIE platform, we thought about, okay, we want to cooperate with other projects and other activities that's ongoing, that they have already did some work related to education. So we are cooperating currently with two projects funded by Horizon 2020, and also one is an Erasmus project. So both projects are ACID and the AT project, and they provide to our platform more than 30 education and training programs. This is just a start, when we're not limited just to those projects, but we're looking forward to extend and add additional courses to the platforms to make it reach and to provide our research, the research and innovation community in the field of smart grid with a high quality education program. So I guess now it's time that we jump to the ERIE platform and see how, give just a short tour about the education training area. So once you log in into the ERIE platform, and you could use your EFI login details, so you could log in by here and just sign in with your EC login details. And then you could go to training and education, and then you could search for programs, which would be opening to you a search filter, which you could choose based on the title or description. For example, if you would like to see what courses related to hydrogen technology or DC microgrid, also we could choose based on location whether you want to have a specific course in a specific country, or Also, if you would like to choose a specific organization that's offered by a specific university, also you could search also through technology, and also how the mood of this course, whether it's a face-to-face course or it's an online course. Also, you could have the opportunity to check the level of the course. So whether you would like to have something that's related focusing to higher level for like a PhD student, or you're looking for courses for bachelor students and general courses just for educating yourself. So we're giving a big range of opportunity to for researchers to get to know about different topics. So just I would like to choose one of the courses, for example, or let's search for a course under hydrogen technology. And then it will filter you the courses. Once you go and check the courses page, you will find further information about general description about the course, what's the learning objective, by which universities this course is given, how many trainees need the course, the level of whether it's high level, high advanced level, or just basic course, and it's as it's hydrogen, it's more in other technology for power to gas. Also, you find more description about the course and what will be given in each week, and how many hours you need to invest and so on. So under each course you will find as an end link. This link will redirect you to the course link. And as far as I remember, this one was provided by an asset project. So we will be redirected to the course, and you could join the course and find more information there and join the course. So
Is the course free?
that's all from my side regarding education and education training courses. I'd be happy to get your questions regarding the platform, and we'll be happy to answer them. Meanwhile, until we get the question, maybe we could start the round table. What do you think, Benazir?
Well, you have finished, Mohammed?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, you can move on. We have Professor Tomislav Kabuda with us.
Yep.
And we can proceed. So you can move on.
Okay, hello, Professor.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
Hello.
So we would like to ask you for your opinion about the platform, and I would be happy to get your feedback about it. So from one of the questions that we would like to know, as you're an expert in this field, from your point of view, what's the main barriers that hindering the innovation of local stakeholders in R&I activities conducted by EC and other European bodies, and how can what's your expectation that the ERIE platform can help in tackling and overcome those problems?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for, first of all, thank you for the invitation to the panel and for giving me the opportunity to, I'm going to say pre-test, because I assume that not many people had the chance to see it the way I did the platform itself. So, well, from my understanding, the platform is growing, it's going to be populated, it's going to become a more living thing, but from what I could see over the past, let's say, 10 days, I can actually confirm what everybody presented. It's really intuitive to use. And even if you are at any level of knowledge or expertise in the areas of smart grids, storage, or demand response, I think these are the
local energy networks.
Yes, so these are, let's say, 4 or 5 main pillars addressed by the platform. Is very addictive, and you start to play around and explore what's out there. and definitely takes some time to get to know everything. So in general, what I've seen is very encouraging. I truly like the platform. But what I think should be very important in this or the upcoming steps is to actually present the platform to everybody in a clear manner and to give them a test drive. So coming from a university, being approached by different platforms for potential H2020 Horizon Europe calls, it is important to distinguish which platforms are interesting, what they offer, and what you can get from them. So, for example, we got approached a year back from a platform. They offer like an opportunity to connect for the future Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe calls. From my experience, it offers significantly less than this. So it's more like a Facebook thread form, kind of a way you express your interest, and then maybe someone matches you. And it should be clear that this offers a lot more. So the questions that Mattia actually mentioned, that was a very good slide to have this discussion. The four main problems why probably Croatian institutions are lagging behind in withdrawing the European funds and participating in European projects. The first one was networking. So basically, to get into a project and to get invited or to be a part or to coordinate, you need to have a visibility of what you do and where do your expertise land. So what can you offer to the consortium? A very nice potential for this can be offered by this platform. So definitely going from, I think in the presentation you saw that there's an option that you also filter by country and then by organization. And when you click on an organization, you could definitely see what the organization does. I did not have all the access that, let's say, was presented in the last two presentations, but if you could show what you do, what did you do in the past, and where do your expertise lay, what you could offer, I think that's, for someone who is going to be looking at partners, that's a big plus, and of course for us. But that's coming from a University of Zagreb, and as you saw on the slide, Zagreb is decent in terms of withdrawing the funds and having 122 projects, and I think the remainder of the country has something like 15. I was counting, but you were fast or something. Yes, 10 or 15% of Zagreb's. Some things are going to increase. There are some very nice initiatives in energy cooperatives on islands, on small cities, so these numbers will increase. But they are sort of reluctant to join these projects because it's nice that you have a training and education corner about the technical part. It would be good to have also, let's say, an educational training part on what does it mean to participate in H2020 project for them. From my experience in Croatia, this is completely missing. And when you go to later on in the afternoon, we'll have representatives from DSO, the Regional Energy Agency. But if you expand this to someone who doesn't have a project, and you approach them and you say, would you like to join the consortium, go into the project with us? They are scared. And they need to get to know what the project is, what is it that they do, and how does it fit the current framework of what's being done. And as you said, good practices. Usually you try to get them involved to do something on a pilot site or to expand the knowledge from a previous project and to continue working on a new site in Croatia, let's say. These good practices are nice, bad practices are even better. So, everybody says, demand response in buildings, this is incredible. You have 15 projects, you just put some devices, demand response works perfectly. And then they go, oh, that sounds nice, let's do it, we'll do it in a hospital. Then someone says, yeah, when we build in these devices, we have to clean room, we have to cut down the ventile convectors or whatever to install the equipment. This is a hospital, you don't touch anything. You can do it, but you don't touch anything. So these bad practices, or these are good practices, but these are, I don't know, downsides of when you implement something. I think the place where these things are listed and people explain them, yes, these were issues. This is how we overcame them, because this is not specific for Croatia. Hospital issue is the same in Cyprus, Italy, Belgium. If you go to a sensitive object, demand response issues will always be present. So if you present, we had these problems, but this is how you tackle them, they will be more encouraged to join.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of the projects don't do this.
Yeah, I think you have indicated issues related to how interest can grow in the country. And I think the areas we have developed within ERIE, the country regional areas and collaboration areas, I think there we need everybody's support, and I mean country-specific support in order to help this process. And I think there is going to be fundamentally strong area to help grow this. And we need your support in that.
I absolutely agree. I think these collaboration aspects and networking aspects that we mentioned is President mentioned go beyond just networking for potential project. They are key to just getting people interested in seeing what we can do. I mean, even if you don't join the A2020 or a large European project, there are different, as you said, opportunities where you can go for something which is smaller and then join a larger project, but you learn along the way, but you need a starting point. I think these things, these collaboration opportunities, could be for many of those cities who are still not enough interested or not enough involved into European level projects. This could be a starting point for them.
Okay, Mohammed Dasso, please proceed to next question.
I don't know if you lost the sound.
No, I muted him because of the noise. Now I asked him to unmute. I cannot unmute him back, so he has to do it himself.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, we were looking forward for questions. We're still receiving, didn't receive any questions. Sorry, I was just connected for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we have completed the first sort of set of questions, the discussion around it. So who is moving on? Is Tassos going to pick up?
Yes. Maybe Tassos could do it because I was disconnected.
No, we've lost Tassos now.
It's fine. I remember one more thing.
No, I just lost what I need to do.
Okay, we are in an area where Tomislav is contributing to the discussion, and so we are expecting you to ask him any other questions.
Actually, what was interesting out of this discussion, and possibly we can further deep dive on this, is that and what we really need to understand actually is if the services that we provide, and to be even more specific, and the focus on the education and training programs. And I understood that Tomislav mentioned the fact that we need to somehow expand our focus not only on research areas, but introduce also some sessions about participation in European programs and the benefits that someone can acquire out of this, the process more or less facilitate the process in order to remove any barriers that have to do with concerns. Do you feel that the European Commission actually and the overall approach that is followed in info days and whatever is not sufficient, or the reason behind this thought, actually, this suggestion that you have made, is that the local stakeholders, the regional stakeholders do not have visibility on the activities performed by the European Commission?
So I would say a bit of both. The second one, more important, they don't know how to find this. They sometimes start Googling, they find a tutorial or something, a workshop. They don't engage unless they are very, very, very interested. Another thing, the first thing that you mentioned, these tutorials are usually always very similar. If you have a specific question, the way the questions are answered in these workshops is you post a question and the questions get, let's say, raised based on the numbers of likes by other participants. So if you have a rather specific question on, can I buy a piece of equipment like this? Can I participate in an event like this? Can I fund this? What happens if I say I will do a pilot project in a children's hospital, this fails and I need to move it to a school? Is this an acceptable option for the project? These questions are very specific, and these questions never get likes, so they are going down. They never get answered because these workshops answer, let's say, top 10 questions. They're usually very repetitive. What can I claim as my expenses? Everything that you transparently spend, you can claim as your expenses. So they do not get the information that they need, and then they give up. If it's a bit more interactive, and this is the idea of the platform, if I understood. Fine, you have a tutorial, maybe you don't answer the questions immediately, but eventually you see that this is an important thing for, let's say, Croatian stakeholders, Hungarian stakeholders who are interested in European questions. Then you turn your attention to this and you answer these things based on the experiences from other projects, or you direct them to a source of information where they can learn it by themselves. I know that they always have specific questions. It's never like how does this work? They like to know this, but they are worried on the operational aspects. So the system operators, today we discuss mostly smart grids here. You're focused on system operators. The system operators are traditionally a bit conservative, let's say, at least. And if you are implying that there should be a pilot project which they think is not tested in the grid enough, they are very reluctant to deploy this. They're looking for safe solutions, which is perfectly normal. I mean, this is their everyday job. If they're testing something, they don't want to put it somewhere where they're not sure that the electricity will be supplied to all the consumers 90% or 99.99% of the time. So if you show them how this works, if you encourage them that if this trial doesn't work and you want to move it there, this is perfectly fine with such an explanation, and it's not a problem with the project. If you explain them that they can then get funding for this, but this is not eligible, I think they will be encouraged, because if they know what they're getting into, they will be less afraid to just let themselves go and go into the projects. But this is my impression. I allow them. In the afternoon session, we discuss it in more detail.
Yeah, I think the interactive nature of the
Yes.
platform very much depends also on the activity of the connected people. I mean, the areas where we have active people really contributing, this will make it really active. And the fact that we will populate it with tools means, solutions, data, knowledge. And we will also have area where we will generate our own knowledge. So 5 people come together and they work on a specific thing, and they will develop it, and someone will approve it and go on the system. That's a continuous process, and this will continuously grow into the direction that actual users will need it. And so in that respect, yes, it's going to be highly interactive.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that should be advertised to everybody, because it's not one of the platforms. It's just you can find basically everything here. We haven't touched the data from a research and innovation institution. I find this part to be immensely important. So this is basically something that everybody who's doing research wants. The data, verified data, the data that they can do tests, research, develop things for a pre-trial before you go on a real world data or whatever, pilot data. So these things are, I mean, I've checked them, they look very nice already. I'm familiar with the data sources from JRC, for example, so I know there's a wealth of data there. This is incredible if you can have all these things in one place. You have it interactive. People asking if anyone has data on this, we are doing a project on this. Yes, of course. Here's the data. What are you doing? Would you be interested in maybe sharing what you do? I mean, not like that, but somewhere in the line.
It's more or less like that. Huh? That's how it will grow into that direction.
This was also my understanding. This is why I think it has potential.
And also, I think the important thing that was shown there is how we can grow into a direction where research infrastructure in Europe is fundamentally available for every research and innovation group that want to use it. That's the direction we want to shift it to. Currently, ERIGrigrid 2 is doing that through application. But the idea here is to convince the Commission to have it a constantly growing service towards research and innovation community of Europe and find the resources to do it. And we will provide the means to do it because we are linked with all the research infrastructure in Europe, and we would like to make this direction. In the same way, we are growing the educational part because we consider that also fundamentally important for research and innovation to grow.
I also saw that on the educational part that there's I think you presented for the PANTERA, there's vocational educational training, which is, again, if you go to system operators, the things that they need to do, which is operational on site, the skills that these people will need in the upcoming years to go from non-digitalized grid to a highly digitalized grid is quite important. So the skills that they could learn there, that the system operators primarily will be interested in.
Okay, Mohammed, that's all. Anything else to Tomislav?
No, just a small remark from my side, especially for the people that are not given yet visited the platform or used the platform, because it's got upon several issues with regards to networking and so on. So everybody should have in mind that we do provide dedicated services, dedicated functionality for someone to advertise their organization and make it even more visible to the participants and other users of the platform. And this will facilitate, actually, through a matchmaking process, will facilitate, and we expect to facilitate, actually, the networking and the establishment of collaborations. And what I need to highlight is that we do give the capabilities not only for posting profiles or posting research interests or research capabilities or whatever. And by research capabilities, I also refer to other capabilities that they may have and may prove useful for the implementation of research and innovation projects, like infrastructures that they can offer or whatever, especially for the partners, because there was a specific comment about this. but we give the possibility to the different organizations engaged to link their profiles to specific topics, to specific areas that are open for funding at specific periods. This is a dynamic process that we identify and we provide information about these open opportunities. And we expect that out of this process, and out of this linking, we can somehow facilitate the establishment of such collaborations on research and on a research topic specific approach, and not on a generic or on a more generalized approach actually. So we invite everybody, let's say, to visit the platform, to create the profiles, to start linking with open goals and other opportunities that are there in order to initiate, commence the process actually of increasing activity at the regional level.
Yeah. Thank you, Dasso. And I think any last words from you, Tomislav, or?
No, I think we can have a good discussion in the panel
this afternoon. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Tomislav, for your contribution. And thank you all for connecting this morning. We have a break now, and we are going to be back at 14 hours Central European Summer Time. And we have this afternoon the SUPEERA project. We have even here to tell us about the mobilization of the EU 13 national public research resources in the clean energy transition, challenges and opportunities. And also we have a very important panel discussion that we want to address issues related to research and innovation activities that are highly related to national regulations, research collaborations, policy issues, financing opportunities, and good practices. And so please join us this afternoon to complete the workshop for today. Thank you very much for connecting this morning.